Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganashadasham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Dham Namami. Nithyanandam. Hi, this is Ma Nithya Oviananda. I wanted to share it with you because a lot of people ask me, what is the difference between taking sannyas and taking the vows of an Aadheenavasi? So, it's a very big difference, I guess you can say, and there's different levels. So I want to share that with you in case any of you are curious, or maybe some of you are thinking you'd like to come here, live with His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda, the Avatar. And you have some questions. So let me answer what I know from my experience of being a Bhautika Brahmacharya for the past almost 4 years now. And I've been living in India here at Bengaluru Aadheenam for 5 years. I lived several months in Chennai, India at a different Aadheenam. So I also had the experience of living in different parts of India and also traveling to other places like Varanasi, which is one of my favorite places aside from here. So the main difference, right? So as a brahmacharya, we are a little bit generalizing lately and just saying sannyas. But actually, Purna Sanyas is the final vows made when you're fully committing and taking that vows of monkhood, of sannyasi. So, but brahmacharyas were sannyasis, yes, however, and we're taking the same vows, but the difference is we are able to say at some point if we wanted that we've discovered it isn't for us, and we'd like to go back and either become a regular Aadheenavasi or go back to our previous life. I don't know why you would want to, but going back to working life or whatever, to the outer world, the social society and all that. So I mean, the thing is, it is as a, I'm just going to generalize and say sannyasi, not as of disrespect, but as keeping it in the spirit that we are taking the vows of sannyas, whether we're a brahmachari or not. And we should have that serious feel that we have taken those vows, that it shouldn't be an option for us at all even to drop it and go. But it is a technicality and it is there. But as a Purna Sannyas, your life and this next lives are all living that vow of sannyasi and living under the guidance and the love and care of His Holiness, the Avatar, our Swamiji. So, and a regular Aadheenavasi is a person who basically wants to get married, or they're not sure what they want to do, and they want to live here either with their husband or their kids, or as a couple here, or they may want to start a different Aadheenam elsewhere, and perhaps have a family and start that, but still live under the 100% guidance of the Guru as far as their life goes, 100%. So, but for us, for sannyasis, we are making that vow to forever live with Swamiji. And we're basically renouncing the societal living, the societal conditionings, our old identities, and our ego. Continuously it's being tested because we're giving that right to Swamiji. Because in order to achieve the ultimate oneness, that connection, that oneness, that enlightenment with Sadashiva, we need to drop all of that and realize that we are Him, we're one in that oneness space. But until then, we think we're something else. We think we're various different identities that we carry. And when you're living in society, or even still as an Aadheenavasi, you're still somebody's brother, sister, mother, friend, whatever it is, you're still that identity. And that's always a very big one. The family bonds, so to speak. And it's interesting to speak of, that family tie, that bond, that ownership, that contract, in a sense, that you have with those people that put you into that situation. And it's in influencing and enforcing how you do things, what you do. It's giving that direction to you. And when you say, hey, I'm going to only listen to my Guru and follow my Guru, then you're moving away from that. You're renouncing that, whether it's guidance, whether it's speaking to them. even just having a conversation, you can go back into your old ways, and everything you've learned from Swamiji could be dropped immediately, because you get into that space of being that identity, whether it's in, oftentimes it comes out of some pattern or incompletion. So even getting into some tantrum or some anger or whatever it is, when you speak to that person, it brings out that kid in you, or that person in you, that familiarity that you have in dealing with that person. So when you're sort of renouncing all of that and you're wanting to achieve and go for that higher goal of enlightenment, you have to drop all that. And also not being exposed to it anymore. Because when you get exposed to it or you speak to those people on a regular basis, you get back into that mode. So it makes it more difficult to drop it. It makes it more difficult to come away from it. I mean, as it is, it is difficult at times, because you really have to face yourself in those identities that keep on pulling you back, because that ego and that mind. That mind is what puts you into suffering. Whenever you get mad or angry or have some incompletion with somebody, it's just your mind speaking to you, saying that you deserve this, or you should be doing that, or why aren't you getting this recognition, or putting some fear in you. And continuously we have to face those things. And in our day and age, it's more of a psychological thing, because we don't have so much of the physical things that we need to run from, like animals attacking us, or, living in a tree and having to defend ourselves against, people attacking us, or animals, or, stuff like that. We have more psychological issues that attack us. So continuously we have to get into the space and the strong oneness with Swamiji. When we start to cut out listening to other people and more and more and more, and allowing only our inner space to connect with Swamiji for the answers, and to think of his teachings only for the answers. A lot of people say, oh, you're being brainwashed, or stuff like that. I hear it all the time, but they are pretty much, they don't have any idea about the guru-disciple relationship, about the paramparam, so the whole lineage of guru and disciples, and why it was created. If you look at Hinduism and even Buddhism, Buddhism was derived from Hinduism. Buddha himself was initiated as a sannyasi by Maha Nirvani Akada, which is the Akada that Swamiji is a Mahamandaleshwara for. So Buddhism even itself comes out of Hinduism, but you will hear about many masters, both Buddhists and Hindus, and you will understand that the guru and disciple, that guru's only job is to just kill that ego, to kill all those things that are cutting you off from oneness, from connecting to that cosmic energy. And everything Swamiji does is only for that. And sometimes we do forget it, because so strongly we'll have some belief about ourselves or some pattern, and we'll just go, a little loosu, because it's really poking at that, because we don't want to let it go, because we think it's who we are. So, I've been struggling a little bit, to be honest, with something, and I'm calling it all different things, writer's block. I never really produced something in this realm, this book, this, that, because I'm in the publications department, and I've done all other aspects of publications, working with the designers, getting books printed, excuse me, all of the, editing, all of the different aspects of it, except for actually sitting down and from start to finish, producing a book. And, the speed that I work is very slow, and everything else when I'm compiling, because I have this thing and I've been holding on to it. But all I need to do really is drop that image I have, because somewhere there's still like maybe a little self-doubt, a little self-denial, a little SDHD, which stands for self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. And Swamiji coined it SDHD. So it's basically, lack of confidence or something in us. It's a lower image that we carry about ourselves. And all of those lower images, that's what Swamiji is trying to just kill and get rid of, because we should always be living in a powerful space. So anytime we have this SDHD, or we're holding on to a lower identity saying we can't, then we have to just beat it. We have to beat it. And it's very difficult at times. And sometimes it doesn't seem so difficult, but when it hits, it's difficult now. Many people, I'm bringing this up because a lot of people can't handle it. Because time and time again, you keep getting that beating into that identity. And it's very sometimes hard. And people just run away from that. They can't handle it. So as a brahmacharya, is one thing. And then as a Purna Sannyas is another thing also. You cannot run. You've made the decision that whatever it is, you're going to hold on to Swamiji's feet and you're going to go through it. See, when you're, I'll give you this analogy, when you're a captain of a ship and you're taking responsibility and ownership of that ship and you're in a storm, you're not just going to blow up that lifeboat and go off. You're going to do what you can to save that ship. You're going to be on that ship and you're going to do what you can to make it weather that storm and go through it. Because once you do that, you're saving the boat, your goods, the people that are on that boat, whatever it is, the responsibility and integrity to your word, that you are taking ownership and responsibility for that ship, that boat. You are going to stay with it. And if you jump ship, you're just abandoning the whole thing and abandoning your vow, your integrity to that. So in the same way, you can say, that is our life. We've pledged ourselves, with integrity, took vows to Swamiji that we're going to live this life and we're going to live for him and his mission. What is he doing? And essentially all the things that we're doing are just made to beat our patterns and our incompletions up so that we can drop our ego and our mind and just let that oneness space come permanently within us. So that's what we're doing. And as taking the vows, you're saying, I'm sincerely going to do this, thick or thin. Whereas in a regular Aadheenavasi or any other devotee or person that's following Swamiji, they have the option. They have the option to go. They can go and enjoy their cake, in the restaurant and be with their friends, and it is very nice. It's very nice in some ways, to have that comfort. Sometime back, I used to sometimes think about that too, because when you go into incompletion or you have a bad day, you can just kind of do something for yourself to get out of it and to actually get out of it. Means diverting yourself away from it, so you're actually not fully dealing with it. But as a brahmachari, as a sannyasi, you cannot. You have to deal with it. You cannot run away and hide from it. So you have to be tough, and you have to continue to toughen yourself up and have will persistence, because you know that you've already made that decision with your being and that you have that trust and connection with Swamiji, and you know that that's all he wants to do is be with you to weather that storm, because no matter what happens, he is with us always, and we just need to decide to hold on to him, because he'll never leave us. Even if we were to decide to go away, he'll still be with us, and he'll still try to bring us back and keep us with him so that we can drop that and attain the higher self. So it's an amazing life, and it can be difficult. You just have to have balls. That's all I can really say in a nice Chicago slang. You got to have balls, okay? And you have to decide and have that strength to do it, even in your low time. You have to know in your heart that Swamiji's there, and you're just throwing a tantrum and you're just being powerless, and you have to just raise yourself up. In the Guru Gita, Shri Krishna, he talks, raise yourself by yourself. You are your friend and your enemy. So it's basically only your decision that you make. Am I going to be a friend to myself today or an enemy? When you're an enemy, you're going to choose that powerlessness, and you're going to go be depressed somewhere and cry or sleep or whatever it is that you do. Or you're going to be a friend to yourself, and you're going to say, hey, I'm going through this nonsense. This identity is not me. I am a powerful being. And I have my Guru Swamiji with me. And he only wants to raise me out of this and clear out this pattern or karma or whatever it is, so that I can continue to elevate myself and be in that space. Because I tell you what, when you're in that space of completion and bliss and you decide to drop these things, wow, it's such a relief. It's such a great feeling and a relief to be free of those identities and things that are holding you back, and to just go with the flow of life. Those moments when you can do that, they are the best moments. And more as we can bring those into our life, the more and more we can be unclutched and free of those things that bind us. So I wanted to just give a little insight today. We'll see what else I'll share down the road. But thank you for watching. I hope you found this beneficial. If you are considering taking sannyas or the vows of brahmacharya and wanting to be living that beautiful life with Swamiji and saying yes to him, and making him your life, because only through the grace of the Guru can we get to that enlightenment, can we achieve that space. Unless you're already some avatar incarnation that's landed and have some skills, we do need that help. We do need it big time. And I know my life and how it's changed as a person and since I've met Swamiji. So anyway, I'm all in. So I would like to know if you have any questions or doubts and you're thinking about taking this path. I'll be glad to answer or share any of my experiences with you. Or if there's some topic you'd like me to touch on here in these videos, I'll be glad to also. Thanks again for watching today, Nithyanandam.